Hey everybody, I know my audio probably sounds a little funky. I'm just playing around. The reason I want to make this video is I want to, well, first of all, I uploaded a really cool interview on my other channel. It's Third Dimension, youtube.com/Third Dimension. That's with a 3 RD Dimension. I'm also going to put this interview probably sometime today on my blog at reddawnpost.com. It's an interview done on Red Ice Radio with a guy named George Kavasilis. And this guy is a really interesting guy. He claims that he went up through the universe and talked with the universal creator, which isn't like the God of the Bible. It's different than that. And he says some really interesting stuff. Keep in mind, we're not going to agree with anyone 100% of the time. So, just keep that in mind. But he really says some things that resonate with me and really explains a lot. And even if he's not 100% on, a lot of what he's saying is really cool, and it's something that makes you feel good. So I just thought it was a cool interview, and I posted it on my other channel at Third Dimension. Some of the things he talks about is, well, who are we and why are we here? What are we doing here? From what George says is, basically this is a test. This is an exam we're taking. We chose to be here. Oh yeah, we actually chose this. And when we came into this three-dimensional life, our memories had to be erased or it wouldn't have been a test. He also mentions the fact that we went from one dimension to fifth dimension to the fourth dimension, and then we came down here into the third dimension. And we're all universal creators, basically, but we're in this universe right now with this universal creator. He or she was the creator of a light universe, and we thought that was really cool. So we came here to learn how to do this. Okay, and part of learning how to do this is polarity, positive and negative, and stuff like that. So, and then he talks about the worshiping of Yahweh and stuff like that, and how these are actually off-planet deities that are stealing your energy. By worshiping these things, you're giving them your energy. The creator of this universe doesn't need worship. Mother Gaia, Earth, is just fine. Operates on her own. The universal creator operates on his own. Worship is not required from you. It doesn't need anything from you. It doesn't need your worship. Everything is perfect on its own. It doesn't need your worship. And that's another thing he talks about. It really resonates. Like the not just the Yahweh or God of the Bible, but some of this stuff like the archangels and stuff like that are actually there's real ones, and then there's ones that are there just to steal your energy. So you want to make sure. And channeling's no good. He talks about channeling, and channeling is no good because you can get deceived through channeling the wrong people. Now you do have people that you're in contract with, people of the so-called light that you're in contract with, that can't harm you. But there's other ones that you can channel that can really harm you. He also talks about actually this being a test that we actually may have contracted these people to do what they're doing to test us, which I thought was very interesting. And that's pretty much it. As far as how I see the Bible. The Bible's, as far as I see, it's poison. I got pushed out of there. I was a Bible believer for a while. I tried to fellowship with people, and it's just a very nasty, rude, um, fake environment. It's everybody is a biblical scholar and an apostle, and it's just ridiculous. The Bible is poison, but a lot of things that George says is really, really cool, and it really resonated with me. So that's about it. Go check it out. It's over there on my other channel. I'll put the link in the description area to both my blog and to my other channel. And that's basically it. That's all I can think of today, really. You know, find your own path. I mean, if the Bible's working for you, then the Bible's working for you. You know, I'm not here to change your mind about that. But I know what I believe now. I know what I feel now. I know what I know now. And it goes a lot deeper than the Bible. The Bible is a manipulated text it's a blueprint for the blue bloods. It's their playbook. They are the chosen one. They're the ones that see themselves as chosen ones. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to bring up real quick about the true Hebrews and the true Jews. You know, yes, there were black Hebrews, but there was Asian Hebrews. There was Caucasian Hebrews. There was all kinds of Hebrews. Hebrew just means to cross over. That's what Hebrew means. The word Hebrew means to cross over, because they were exiled. The Antonists were exiled from Egypt, and they crossed over. I forget which river it was. Maybe it was the Reed Sea or the Red Sea, and it meant to cross over. And that's all Hebrew means. Now, they're and people bring up the depictions of the hieroglyphs of black people on the hieroglyphs, but there was other people there too. There was Asian people in those hieroglyphs. There was Caucasian people in those hieroglyphs. Now, there were, I'm sure, African Hebrews, but they were not the elite. They weren't the Levites. They weren't the elite. They weren't the bloodline. They were just the slaves. Just like the Asians and the Caucasians were the slaves as well. They weren't the elite. They weren't the Levites. They weren't the bloodline, the Davidian, they weren't the Pharaonic bloodline, the bloodline of the pharaohs. Okay? That's what I'm saying. You know, monotheism did not exist. You cannot find an instance of monotheism before the 18th dynasty of Egypt. Only in the Bible can you find that, which was written mostly by Akhenaten, or quote-unquote Moses. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to clear up. Yes, there was African Hebrews, but here's one more thing you got to think of. It's a really good point that a researcher brought up. If the civilization of Egypt was the pharaohs and the elites were African descent, why nowhere else in Africa is there a replica civilization like that? Why nowhere else is there pyramids like that? Why nowhere else was there a civilization like that in Africa? Okay? Because the people who built those pyramids they came from the east. Or no, they came from the west to the east, not east to west. They came from the west to the east. They came from, after the destruction of Atlantis, they were the Hyksos, the Shepherd Kings. The Hyksos, the Shepherd Kings. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Yes, there was Hebrew, or Jewish, or whatever you want to call them. Jewish wasn't even a word. African Jews, there was Asian Jews, there was Caucasian Jews, it was a mixture. But the elite, the ones who walk the red carpet, which is symbolic for the bloodline, are the people sitting on thrones nowadays. That's why they walk the red carpet. So, anyway, that said, please go check out the really cool interview, George Kavassilis, over at my other channel. I'll put the link in the description area. Thanks for watching. Take care.